Hey, we're here at Gunner's Firearm with Maggie. Maggie, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, Mark.
It was interesting. We were getting ready to wrap up because we were just filming some other stuff. I think we were talking about guns for gifts and that.
Yeah.
And something that you just brought up, so we thought, well, let's talk about that because that's fascinating. So I had asked Maggie, what are some trends you got going on here? And you had mentioned that the trend is so many straw purchases. Like, what's like? Is that really a trend right now?
It's a horrible trend. It is
Really?
the worst trend I've seen, and I don't know where these, like, what inspires this. But if I have an idea is this the DoorDash thing that's coming back on us? Because we have people go, if I want something, I go out, I get it myself. In this day and age, we are now to the point where if we want something, we scroll through our phone, we see what we want, we order it online, and we send someone else out to pick it up for us. We send a delivery service. Amazon delivers to us. The grocery stores deliver to us. We have DoorDash now, so we don't have to leave our house for anything. Is this what's making people think it's okay to buy a firearm for other people?
That's interesting.
Like,
so now, how do you know? Like, what are some of the things that you see that make you wait a second?
That mark it as a straw purchase. So the first time, the things that look really fishy. No, I don't have but he does. He can fill out the paperwork and give me the gun. That's a straw purchase.
Sure.
No. So seeing that at the counter, all the time, like a guy will come in, yeah, it's this one right here. I want this one right there. All right, well, let's get you the paperwork. Okay, why don't you come over here and you do the paperwork for this? He's got the money. He's going to be buying it. But you just said it was for you, that's the one you wanted. Why is he buying something that you said you wanted? That's fishy. That's a straw purchase. Okay, thanks, bye. Go somewhere else, but not here. So that's a thing. Or handing money. Guys that are like, oh, she's doing that. I'm just the gentleman that holds her money. I am that kind of gentleman. I hold the door for her. I hold her purse and her handbag, and here's your cash, sweetheart, that I pulled out of my pocket that wasn't in your pocketbook. Or here, let's put this on my credit card with my name on it, even though it's you that's going to be doing the paperwork on it. So that's totally a straw purchase. That's super fishy looking. And I don't know if it's intentional or not, but from our side of the counter, what that looks like is that you're hanging out with somebody that can't own their own firearm, and you are in the company of someone that potentially could be a felon if they're not filling out the paperwork for themselves and they're not purchasing the firearm for themselves. Well, that's got us thinking that something is really wrong on that side of the counter with the person you're hanging out with, and maybe with you. You don't want that. Like, we're humans.
That's a heavy responsibility to be given to somebody else as well.
Yeah, we are, as human beings, we are incredibly judgmental. There's no way around that. It's just how we are. And so the guys that come in or sometimes some people just say strange things at the counter that just don't add up, right? Like, it just sounds super weird. So my cousin will start asking a few more questions, or I will start asking that individual more questions. And if it's deemed like, yeah, they said they were denied the purchase of a background check before a couple times or someplace else, and now here they are looking at guns and they're in here, and then they come back a week later, a few days later, with someone else pointing out the guns that they were looking at, and then we see that second person come back in and buy that gun without that person there, or sometimes with the other person there, coaching them through the process. That looks like a straw purchase to us. Like, that just looks really suspect.
It sounds suspect. And I'm sure, well, okay, I guess I got two questions. One, the thing that fascinated me about this the most was that it's a trend. You know, because we've been talking for years about random trends in the gun store. This is the first time I've heard you say that. So is it really that much more now than it was before, that it kind of makes you go?
I think I stand behind the counter more these days, so I see it more often. It is a thing everywhere,
Sure.
and this is something that every gun store on the daily will deal with at some point. And sometimes it really is, it's super harmless. Sometimes it really is not a straw purchase. But most of the time, if it looks bad, the guys that really want to keep their license and stay on the straight and narrow, they're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. They're going to be like, look, man, you already said, you expressly told us that you are buying this for somebody else. We're going to stop that right there. That's it. We can't do anything more for you today. Sorry. And then that's where the Dear Google begins.
Dear Google, I am so mad at Gunner's Firearms.
This gun store was mean to me. They told me I couldn't buy a gun for my friend as a gift. Oh, gosh darn.
Now, how do you think, is that really daily? Like, are you dealing with straw purchases daily?
So there are law enforcement agencies across the country that will, and not like, I'm not talking alphabet soup agencies. For some places, I'm talking like the city or the county will send people in to do sting operations at gun stores. Like, here, we need you to do we need you to see if you can get a straw purchase through this gun store. Yeah. So they will send people in just to see if that, and they'll do this to places frequently sometimes. And some places will just, if it looks suspect or weird, they're just, no thanks, bye, there's the door. And other places are so large or so busy that, or they don't have anything, checks or balances in place to catch that. So I know there's places that get shut down for this. I know there are places that will facilitate straw purchases, because if it happens, and sometimes this side of the counter isn't going to know about it, and other times we are going to know, and if we see it happen, we can stop it immediately.
So really, gosh, in the end, it's really kind of on your side. It's the obvious one. You're really looking for it. It's sad that you have to look for that too, but my guess is you kind of grow to recognize it.
Yeah. The more you deal with it, and truly, I can greatly appreciate how my cousin deals with this. If it is anything sus, weird, or strange, just no thanks. We're not going to turn around and look the other way at this. We're just going to send them right out the door and keep the good customers here and send the straw purchases out elsewhere. I guess.
Well, gosh, so, Maggie, well, good job on you all being keen to that sort of thing, and a weird trend, but
awful trend.
Awful trend. Yeah.
Awful trend. Buy your own gun.
Buy your own gun, yeah. And don't buy your friends' guns.
No, and it's so weird, like the excuses you get from people too. Well, I just don't want to wait. They hold me up every time. But my buddy, see, he buys them and he goes through immediately. He's fine. But me, they make me wait 5 days, 10 days. They make me wait every single time, however long. Or sometimes they don't ever call me back and I don't know if it ever finished at all. So I understand why some people choose to go the route of straw purchases, because they don't want to deal with the hassle, or they don't like their standing there at the paperwork, or looking at the paperwork or reading it. Some people don't know how to read, and the paperwork is very intimidating. They don't understand the language in which it is written in, or they do not comprehend the words that are there. There's some words on there that aren't in most people's lexicon these days. And so, yeah, it helps to have a little phone, take it out and Google, what does this mean? How is it used in this context? But then you're standing there at the counter trying to fill out a form while you're trying also to read the definitions on the form, it can take a lot of time out of your day. So somebody that just knows what they're doing and can done. All right, give me the gun. Let's go. Do your own paperwork.
Yeah.
Don't make somebody else do it for you.
Well, or just don't do it for somebody else, because like that's the foolish part, you know. Because if I go buy my buddy a gun, I'm trusting him to be responsible for that gun for the rest of his life.
You are trusting,
and that's probably not very smart.
You will trust that person will never ever make a poor decision in their life. They might never ever leave their firearm in their vehicle and then park in a bad part of town or a situation where their car gets broken into and that firearm gets stolen out of that vehicle. That happens so regularly. And if that firearm was a gift, that stolen serial number not only comes back on you, but on the person that gifted it to you.
Well, Maggie, gosh, thank you so much. This is good information. No straw purchases.
Please don't.
Gosh, good stuff, man. Sorry it's a trend, but good job on keeping up on it. And I guess hopefully we don't talk about this in the near future, but maybe we will.
I don't want to.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Mark. Until next time, we'll see everybody.
Bye-bye.